Hi, my name is Sammy, and I'm in quite a weird situation. Imagine you have a secret, a very scary secret, a secret that you hide deep inside of your head and are afraid to share with anyone. And so you keep quiet, and the moment comes out when your secret isn't yours anymore. Sounds creepy, doesn't it? And I had to live through it. And it's the loudest memory in my life. I'm just a regular high school kid, just like you maybe. I like to play computer games, play ball in the yard with the boys, and listen to Maroon 5 sometimes, and everything would be okay, but I have a secret, a very personal one. It's really hard for me to say it out loud, but my therapist said to say what's on my mind. So it was a regular school day, and the principal came into our office. He said that from today, there's going to be a psychologist or a school therapist that's going to work at our school, and we can ask him for help anytime. I'll tell you right away, I thought that the people who were psychologists was a person who worked with psychos. And maybe a lot of us even are, who knows. I didn't really realize this, and a lot of this information slipped my ears. And my classmates began to laugh and whisper that with such students in our class, the therapist would have to find a therapist for himself from what he's about to deal with. In the evening at the table, my mom asked me how my day was and what the news was. It was our tradition to tell what happened during the day. I told her about my progress in math and about the terrible munchies in the cafeteria, and that we had a school psychologist. This news, it was like my mom perked up. A psychologist? That's great! Kids these days are very private. They don't tell anyone about their problems and thoughts. Why don't you go to counseling? You do realize that your problem requires qualified help. Mom, I'm a normal person and I'm fine. I'm not gonna go to any psychologist. I threw my fork on the floor and walked out from the table, and my mom sighed sadly. I couldn't stand having a conversation about my problem. In fact, I read that in many European countries, children often do this, and no one takes it as a shame. I went up to my room and flopped down on my bed. I looked at my watch and realized it was time to go to bed, and as usual, shivers ran down my spine and a lump lodged in my throat. It was already dark. Night was coming on, which meant diaper time. All right, stop laughing. Let me explain. Yeah, I'm a teenager now. But the funny thing is, I've been wearing a diaper at night for a long time now. Sounds lousy, but it wasn't always like this. It all started when my folks went away for a visit and I was home alone. I was playing video games on the console, eating chips. Then I started chatting with my classmate Stan. We were messing around and sending each other hilarious videos when all of a sudden I heard some rustling on the first floor. It's weird, the folks are supposed to come later, and just wanted to yell, "Who is it?" when suddenly I heard a rumble. Something was falling, smashing, and I realized that there were burglars in the house. My whole body was paralyzed. I crawled under the bed with difficulty and trembled with fear, praying that they would not find me. I could hear footsteps coming closer and closer. I could even smell their breath. Squeezed my eyes shut. Here, with a creak on the door to my room opened, and, "Sammy, baby, we're home." Mom's voice sounded like a rescue. I heard someone quickly descend through the back door on the second floor and silence reappeared. That's when I realized I had peed my pants with fear. I told my parents everything, and it took me a long time to come to my senses. Since then, I've been afraid of the night. Afraid to sleep. And the worst thing is that as soon as I close my eyes, I pee. My parents did everything. They gave me medicine, gave me electric shocks, threw me into the sea, and took me all kinds of Indian and Mexican shamans, but to no avail. It was normal for me to sleep in a diaper, even though it was embarrassing. That was the secret I had deep in my head with fear. So there you go. After talking about the school therapist, my mom told me every day that I just had to go to therapy and that would definitely help me. And holy crap, nothing helped. And the psychologist will help, right? Nah. So my mom berated me for a month, and eventually I gave up and went to him. There was the usual shabby chair and shady doctor. Looks like some kind of a watchman. To be honest, I did not immediately believe that he was a psychologist. He politely told me to sit down and started asking questions. His name was Dr. Wilson, and as he said, he was a black belt in psychology. We talked for a long time about general topics until the psychologist asked the main questions. What am I afraid of? I was ashamed. The psychologist noticed this and asked me the same question again. I'm afraid of the dark. The dark? Psychologist asked me again. Yeah. How long has this been going on, and roughly when did it start? I could barely tell the details of this awful night, and I confessed about peeing in a diaper like a baby. The therapist was weird as hell. He started laughing. I saw it. First, he quietly twisted his mouth. Then he started grinning. I didn't like it. What I was hiding, what I was ashamed to tell the man, hoping for understanding, but instead I saw mockery. "You laugh?" I asked. The psychologist immediately responded, "Oh no, I just remembered one incident. Oh, I feel sorry for you. What a secret you have. Excuse me, such a shame, such a shame." I jumped up and left, slamming the door loudly. I felt lousy. I was just being laughed at. Barely holding back my tears, I headed straight home. I could not be within the walls of the school with that idiot psychologist. The next day, trying not to remember yesterday's meeting, I was walking down the corridor of the school. Suddenly, a voice was heard behind me. "Sammy, Sammy!" It was the school psychologist. He happily came up to me and in a half whisper said, "I don't think anyone at school would ever guess that a good boy Sammy pees the bed and wears diapers. Haha. How lousy would it be if anyone but me knew that secret?" I was shocked. "Is this blackmail? What do you want from me? I know your family. You have a lot of money. I'm poor, and I could use a couple $100 for my silence." The psychologist grinned defiantly and walked away. This was a turnaround, and I had not expected. I had been depressed all night. Where was I going to get $200? I imagined idiot Wilson standing in the middle of class and yelling, "Sammy wears a diaper!" and all my classmates and professors around me starting to laugh. I wanted to twist the story backwards so that everything would fall into place and I wouldn't go to that non-doctor ever. I pulled myself together and decided to give all my money that I had been saving for months and prayed that it would be over. Wilson was waiting at the door to the school this morning and he wanted the money badly. I discreetly handed him the envelope and whispered that it was all I had and that he would forget my secret. A week passed. A second week passed. Wilson didn't bother me. I was beginning to forget about the blackmail until one day I saw a diaper in my locker and note, "Money has a way of running out. I need a reboot." I almost cried on the spot. "What's going on?" I sat down on the bench near the school and covered my face with my hands. A guy from class, Adam, came up to me. He had tears in his eyes. We sat in silence as he asked through in his tears, "Do you have a loan of $50? I'll pay you back when I have the money." I asked what happened, and Adam said that he was being blackmailed by the school counselor, and that he also made an appointment just like me and told him about his parents' quarrels and the fights that they had, and that now this maniac Wilson was demanding money for his silence. I was so angry. I told him that I was in the same situation, and Adam and I thought that our psychologist might not be a psychologist at all, but a brazen blackmail scam artist. We decided to catch him red-handed, to record everything on video and show it to the director. And after discussing everything with Adam, I hid behind the fence and turned on the camera. A few minutes later, Wilson came up to Adam and happily took the envelope with the money. As soon as he left, we ran to the director's office and told him everything and showed him the video. You want to know what happened next? Wilson was picked up by the police. As it turned out, he had enrolled in the psychology department, but never received his certificate and degree. He was expelled for cheating and test tampering. The police are now pursuing his case and looking for other victims of his blackmail. No one found out about my secret, but I will say after this incident, I'm only going to therapists recommended to me by my friends or family. My therapy is doing pretty good, and I'm no longer afraid of the nightfall. Things will get better, and I believe that. If you liked the video, then please leave a like and comment down below.